It's Wednesday, guys, and you already know what time it is. It's Q&A with Skinny. Ask away. What's up, Hoopheads? It's your boy Skinny Hardaway, and this is Retro Heat Check. Checking in one more time for the real Hoopheads out there. And of course, thank you all for your likes, your shares, your subscriptions, your comments, and of course your questions. You already know what it is. Tonight is Wednesday Q&A. Hey, and I expect, as I expected, the questions this week were fire. I'm looking forward to a pretty good episode. I'm very excited to answer your questions tonight. And as always, I say this every day during the week. I say this every week. Bring those questions. I need those questions. Step up with those questions. You guys have been killing it with the questions. My ladies, my fellas in the Hoophead Haven, you already know what it is, man. You guys have definitely stepped up. The questions have been great, have been intriguing, thought-provoking. Some of them are a little bit silly, especially with the Shekel Storm lore. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to. I always definitely look forward to each and every Wednesday. I look forward to always reading you guys' your questions. And like I always say, outside of the comment section, which I love to also interact with you there. But to me, I think answering your questions each and every Wednesday is just as important. It's another way that we can connect and interact, even learn a little bit about each other, and you guys get to learn a little bit about, well, more about me and the channel. So, and I get to learn a little bit more about you guys because within your questions, I kind of see exactly. I can almost gauge where your basketball knowledge is, and thank God for you hoop heads in the hoop head haven that you guys know your hoops, that you guys know your sneakers. Hey, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. So kudos to you guys. And keep up the great work. This is the part of the show where we give big props to our guy, to the guys, man. You know what I'm saying? The squad. You already know what it is, man. These are my guys. These are the guys that I stand in paint with. We're up against it, you guys. We're up against the huge conglomerate. I mean, it goes from the top all the way down, from Adam Silver all the way down to your local fanboy. And as far as fanboys, nameless, faceless, within the walls of the Hoophead Haven. If you by happen chance happen to come across a fanboy and he's getting a little loose in the comment section, feel free to check him. You have my permission. You have my blessings. Do what you do, man. Do it within the rules and guidelines of the YouTube community. But yeah, man, definitely these are my guys. So big shout outs to these guys, man. Sports and Fitness Rants. Hey, the motivation, the inspiration of this channel. Gotta give a shout out to my man Robin. Big shout out to you. He's been kicking ass as always. His channel is growing. It's blowing up more and more and more. Man, I'm definitely proud to be a colleague of his. Proud to be a brother in arms with him. That's my guy. Uncommon Sense. Big shout outs to you. That's the OG. Scap Attack, Too Raw for Sports TV, another OG. Michael Jordan fans are the best. NMB Sports TV, My twin, Phenomenal Fitness. What up, man? What up? What up? You got Ticket TV. We got Print Sports, Man Down Sports, Geechee Life Sports Talk, Get in Tune, Kobe Bryant Film Room, Jordan versus LeBron, Shekel Storm NBA, The Real Mind Crime. Definitely check him out. That's Mr. AM Sports Radio right there. The Allen Ricks TV. Definitely check him out. NBA Facts Self Research. Man, unadulterated facts, and he just hits you upside the head with them continuously and consistently. Big shout outs to you. Am I forgetting anyone? Nope. I think I got everyone. Oh, my bad. Forgot about Uncut Hoops and Angry Old Hoops. I'm so sorry. Definitely can't forget about those guys. Those guys definitely put in work. Great videos, great commentary. Very, even have a little bit of a comedy, especially on Angry Old Hoops. He definitely cracks me up. Definitely give a big shout out to all of you guys, man, who stand in the paint. Hey, sometimes we may not see eye to eye in certain times, but hey, at the end of the day, we're all still on the same side, going up against the same monster. So we're here to kick the truth about real NBA hoops, trying to restore that respect back to the past, while we're still railing on the present, because we want real hoops to return. And I think once certain characters are shown the door and move on with their lives, I think the league will be could be back onto the road to recovery. So you already know how that goes. But you already know what it is. Oh yeah, but before I go further, make sure you guys hit the like button, man. When you guys come in, man, if you guys could, it would help with the channel, help grow the channel, help get us into the YouTube algorithm. I don't really ask for much. I don't ask for money or anything like that. The only thing I ask for is for your participation and a like. That's it. But also, I would love for you guys to check out the Be Like Mike series that I just concluded this past Friday. This past Thursday. I'm sorry. Man, it's a series that I worked on these last couple weeks. It's a 2-week series, 6 episodes, from Harold Miner to Grant Hill to Penny Hardaway to Kobe Bryant to Vince Carter to Anthony Edwards. Definitely, it's what I feel about the whole next Jordan, and the significance of that, and how these players was able to navigate, or fail to navigate through this type of pressure. Because being called the next Jordan it's a different kind of pressure. And these are the 6 that I identify as the ones that had to deal with that the most. Definitely, it was a labor of love. I hope that you guys check it out. Hope you guys like it. Hope you guys give your feedback on it as well. Thanks. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty. It's time to answer your questions. Like I said, man, you guys have been kicking it. You guys have been kicking ass with the questions. You guys have been killing it. I'm so proud of you guys. So let's get on down to it, man. Let's get down to it. First question. It's from my main man, Chucky Hendricks. You already know what it is, man. Big shout outs to you, man. One of the Hoop Head VIPs, man. He definitely participates, man. And all I can say is, man, thank you, Chuck, for always staying in the paint with me, being a great representative of the Hoop Head Haven. Definitely big shouts and much respect to you, man. Let's get down to your question, man, because it's a good one. What do you think about the zone defense being used in the NBA and how it impacts the game? Well, Chuck, I'm going to come at you with my limited knowledge as far as coaching. Now, I play basketball. I've been playing basketball. I played from from elementary, from Pee Wee leagues all the way through high school. I was into other stuff, so I I was more of a street baller than an organized ball player. Now I played organized ball, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I prefer the street ball. I prefer the street ball. I had more of my game was more modeled towards street ball. So yeah, I will definitely have my limited knowledge, as well as being a six and under basketball coach down at the local YMCA for the kids. And I done that for a while. But I will have to say, full disclosure, my main focus with those kids, because they were 5 and 6 year olds, I just wanted to just teach them the basics, dribbling, shooting, passing, rebounding, and defense. And had a pretty good squad, won the city championship. Yeah, I definitely I'm definitely proud of my time as a youth coach. So I'm coming from the perspective of both a player, a former player at the smaller level, a coach at the younger level, but also as an NBA fan, a guy who has watched NBA basketball. Probably I've been watching NBA basketball since probably about 7, 8 years old. I've had a passion for the game ever since then. So I've seen a lot of ball, and I've seen the changes over the decades. But I will attempt to answer your question. The zone defense the NBA, for many, 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 many years, the zone defense was outlawed in the WNBA. Oh my God, in the NBA, the zone defense was outlawed for a very, 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 very long time. Um, but it was eventually brought back into the game um, later on in the late '90s, early 2000s. That's when more defenses such as zone defense were allowed into the NBA. The NBA for a long time was always a man to man type of league. It was about mano with mano. It was about, basically, could you stay in front of your man? Could you stay in front of your man? Now, of course, you would have they would throw triple teams and double teams and stuff like that, but no zones. And also, you also had to take into account that if you had an elite big man, all he had to do was just camp out underneath the basket. So you were pretty much, if you were a player such as a Michael Jordan, if you got past, whatever one on one matchup or double team or even triple team, and you get down to that lane, now you got a 7 footer, looking right at you, ready to throw your shot into the bleachers. But that's why you saw a lot of people. You saw a lot of blocks. You also saw a lot of poster dunks. I mean, that's why if you ever look at, highlights from the 80s and the 90s in particular, you see so many poster dunks, because that's how defenses were pretty much ran. It was man to man, and if you got past the perimeter defenders, hey, you had your interior guys, your power forwards, and especially your center waiting on you, ready to either block your shot or foul you really hard. So I mean, I would have to say, just given that caveat, that was what defenses was. Um, but once defenses kind of, evolved over the years, especially when they added the 2-3 zone. The 2-3 zone definitely added a different wrinkle to the NBA game. A lot of players were very very, very. I think some of them were resistant. Some of them were cool with it. A lot of coaches um, were the same way. It's pretty polarizing, because if you're a league that has been used to playing defense a certain way, and the next thing you know, you're allowed to bring in basically a college and high school defense, defense that you probably learned in elementary school. Um, but yeah, you had, with the advent of the 2-3 being added into into the game, basically I would have to say it does many things. Number one, I would have to say one of the top reasons why many teams, excuse me, many teams play zones because they don't have good defenders. And one thing about a zone defense, you can hide your weak defenders. It doesn't matter if you're in a 2-3, if you're in a box and one, if you're in a triangle and two. It does not matter what you are in as far as a 2-3 zone. You can be in a 1-3-1. It doesn't matter what really that you're in. If you have a weak link within your defense, because of the positioning of the players on the court, you can have a guy, say for instance, say your point guard isn't your best defender. You have him at the top of the 2-3 zone, but he will also be helped out by the other guard right beside him, the two guard right beside him, and usually depending on what side of the top of the 2-3 he's on, he's either going to have the small forward or the power forward backing him up. So you can basically hide your weakest defender within the 2-3 zone, because basically as when you're hiding that guy, like I said, he always has somebody to his left and to his right, or whatever, that will help him, and all he has to do is just guard an area. Just guard an area. Just stay in the area. You can, the way that you could position your man, you can actually guide him to the other man. If you're a weaker defender, you can almost stand your ground and open yourself up to guide that defender. I mean, that offensive player right into your fellow defender down low. So yeah, it's definitely one of the many things. Another, it protects the paint. When you have, say, like a guy, once again, you have a guy like a Michael Jordan or a D Wade or who's another good slasher. Historically, a Latrell Sprewell. You have like a Dr. J, somebody who can get to the cup, you know, from various angles, various ways to get to the basket. But when you have a 2-3 zone, it's more, the defense is more packed into the paint, so it makes driving a little more difficult. It actually encourages teams to shoot outside jumpers. Now, say if you have a team like the Golden State Warriors, a 2-3 zone probably is not going to work. I would say Golden State in their heyday, when they were in their prime, a 2-3 zone was probably not going to cut it. But say if if it were the older Golden State Warriors, with like Latrell Sprewell and Tim Hardaway, two guys that could hit the three but didn't hit the three with such regularity. Um, they weren't really known as 3-point shooters like that. A 2-3 zone would have probably would have neutralized guys like those two that can slash and get to the paint. Um, you know, um, and especially if you have a 2-3 zone and you have a decent big man, that also keeps it going as far as discouraging guys from coming to the lane. It also disrupts opponents. It definitely disrupts your opponent's flow. It can definitely it can definitely you know it can break tendencies. Like I said, if you're a player that's more known for slashing, that's going to halt that. If you're a guy who spends a lot of your time hitting, like little bunnies and floaters and stuff like that, it's gonna curtail that. If you're not a great outside shooting team, it's definitely going to help. It's definitely going to help disrupt your offensive flow, especially if you are not a outside shooting team. A 2-3 zone can literally kill your whole night. It can kill your whole night. Definitely, it's an equalizer. So I would say what I mean by that is A 2-3 zone is a great equalizer as far as talent is concerned. And I will give you a good example. Last year's Eastern Conference Finals with the Boston Celtics and my Miami Heat. The Miami Heat was able to really jump out on Boston and bother them a lot of times when they got in a 2-3 zone. Boston on paper was the more talented squad. They were the younger, they were the more athletic, they were the, they had the, they just had it, they had more on paper than the Miami Heat. But Miami was able to neutralize them by throwing in a 2-3 zone. The only time that the 2-3 really did not work is when Boston would bring in Robert Williams, and because we didn't really have a big man that could really get with him, he would kill the inside, and that's mainly because within the 2-3 zone, the big man still has to move around. It's not like the old traditional 2-3 where the big man can literally stand in the paint and be cool. Now that in the NBA, when defensive 3 seconds was added in the 2001-2002 season, the big man could not just camp out. So in a lot of ways, thanks to the NBA rules, the 2-3 zone can be neutralized itself, and that can be your big man. All you have to do is just have an active big man, have somebody who's an offensive threat that has to give the attention to your center. That center has to move around. You can't just camp out in the paint. They have to step in, step out, step in, step out. They have to stay within 6 to 8 feet of the player that they're supposedly guarding. So yeah, definitely, it is a definite equalizer if you have a talent gap, because that 2-3 can basically halt a lot of, say, like if you have a team full of athletes, it's probably going to halt a lot of drives to the paint. It's going to probably curtail a lot of dunks, but I can say if you catch somebody going baseline, you can give an alley oop in the 2-3, but because the 2-3 zone kind of lets the defense see everybody on the floor, it kind of curtails that as well. So definitely it is an equalizer. It is also a curveball tactic from coaches. If you are, if you're in a team, then you guys, you're trying to do man-to-man defense and you're getting clobbered, and some teams, just to get back in it, same way teams go into like a full court press, or something like that. The half court equivalent to that is a 2-3 zone. Teams get into a zone, stops the drives to the basket, stops the easy baskets, basically raises the difficulty of the defense by daring them to shoot more jump shots, more lesser percentage shots. I definitely think that is definitely a curveball. It actually helps a lot of coaches get their teams into, if they're down a lot, that sometimes helps their teams get back into the game. I would have to say once again, Erik Spoelstra, head coach of the Miami Heat, he is notorious for that. When Miami is in a bind, if Miami was down, if Miami just needs to manufacture some points to stay within the game, keep the game competitive, you will see a 2-3 being employed. And I think that Miami is one of the better teams in employing the 2-3 defense, because you have a lot of smart veteran players who are coachable, and you have a coach like Erik Spoelstra, who's probably one of the best strategists in the game. So it's definitely definitely a curveball tactic. It is something that coaches can use to spring on the opposition, to mainly to get back in the game. It's kind of like I said, the half court equivalent of getting into a full court press, because that is the full court answer to try to manufacture fast and easy points through defense. But yeah, the 2-3 defense, famous from Jim Boeheim in Syracuse. I would have to say, when it comes to running the 2-3, he is a magician with that, because like I said, he he can disguise it. He can flip that 2-3, make it a 3-2. He can make it a box and one, a triangle and two. Well, a triangle and two is when you have three guys basically in zone, and you have the last two guarding. Say like if you're guarding a team like, we'll say Boston. And say that you want to run a triangle and two. So you'll have the triangle basically in the zone, and that's usually your guys that is going to be guarding, basically keeping the paint. And you can have your two outside guys, your two. One will be guarding Tatum, the other one will be guarding Brown. That would be an example of your triangle and two. Or you have your box and one where it is basically, say like like Michael Jordan. We'll just go back to Michael Jordan. Box and one, you have four guys basically in the paint, in the box, within the paint, and you have one guy chasing the main offensive target one-on-one the whole time. Now, back in the days, there wasn't a whole lot of that because obviously you couldn't really run a whole lot of zones. But I will have to say, if there was a team that kind of ran some kind of variation of that, it would have been the Knicks, because the Knicks like to run that a lot. Pat Riley definitely like to throw variations of boxes and ones. Whether he had Gerald Wilkins or John Starks guarding Michael Jordan, because those were usually the two. When Gerald Wilkins was in New York, he was the better defender. He was the Jordan stopper, quote unquote. So they threw a lot of variations of boxes and ones with Gerald running around the court chasing Mike while everybody else kind of mines the paint, because it's Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's going to drive to the basket, and even those variations did not stop Michael Jordan. As a matter of fact, if you remember the play where he does where he kind of shakes John Starks in Oakley, goes baseline, dunks on Patrick Ewing. If you look at the defensive set, go back and look at that defensive set, it is a loose variation of a box and one. And they had, in this variation, you had John Starks doing the chasing. That's why you see John Starks right there in the play. He was basically running around after Michael Jordan. If you notice on that play, it was Oakley on the baseline, and he jumped out. So basically, he moved slightly away from the zone and jumped out to basically try to trap Jordan. Jordan being Jordan, he faked one way, turned around, went baseline, dunked on Ewing, and the rest is history. So definitely it is an impact of the game. It definitely impacts the game in those 5 ways that I guess I have to say. Those are the 5 that I could think of, exactly what a zone defense does and the impact that it does have in the game. Hopefully that answers your question. I know that was a little deep, but yeah, definitely the 2-3 zone defense, whatever kind of zone defense that you want to run. I mean, it can be definitely effective even if you don't have the best defenders. If you have guys that may not be the best defenders, but they hustle hard, they're active with their feet, they have active hands and active feet, they fill lanes and everything. You can have a pretty decent zone. You don't have to actually have superior athletes, but if you do have superior athletes in a 2-3 zone, boy, you're going to see a lot of steals. You'll see a lot of passing lanes. You'll see a lot of deflections. It can be a beautiful thing. It can definitely be a beautiful thing to watch if you have a good team that plays zone defense and are athletes. Athletes in a 2-3 zone is almost unfair, because like I said, you're filling in. You can disrupt so many things because number one, you still have all the quickness and the speed and the athleticism and yada yada yada, but you're not running all over the court. You're just basically guarding an area. You guard your sector. You guard, and if you want to, you can guide your man right down. You can guide your man right into the next guy, into one of your teammates. You can trap them. You can do all kinds of stuff if you're an athletic team in a 2-3 zone. Definitely, I would say that is the optimum scenario if you want to use a 2-3. If you got some athletes, if you have athletes 1 through 5, and you jump into a 2-3 zone for a couple possessions, you can really do some damage. But that's just my amateur player slash coach approach to answering that question, Chuck. Chucky, I hope that that answer satisfies you. But yeah, I'm not a coach. I'm not an expert or anything like that. It's just that I just try to just use my experience and from what I've learned and from what I've seen over the years. So hopefully that was enough for you. Hopefully that satisfies you. Hopefully that answer satisfies you. Sorry. All right. Second question, last question of the night, and we got to do this for Jessica. This is my birthday gift to you. Hope that you had a great birthday yesterday, and she wanted me to answer this question as a birthday gift from her. So we're going to get into some Shekel Storm lore real quick before we shut down Q&A for tonight. All right, let's get down to it, Jessica. Jessica's question is, when you and Morton played against LeBron and the Lakers, what did you say to LeBron after that dunk on Austin Reeves in the low post? And when Morton stole the ball from LeBron and made that alley-oop to you on a transition dunk, what did you say to Job Costas? All right. Let's dig into this. Let's dig into this Shekel Storm lore. Shout outs to Shekel Storm, man. Shout outs to Shekel Storm NBA. Check him out, man. He definitely is the king of the lore. Has guys like me, who is part of the mythical Israeli Penny Pinchers basketball team of the JBL league, the league that we've dominated. And hey, your boy, he's basically Hall of Fame player in the JBL. You already know, along with Angry O Hoops, Uncommon Sense, my twin Phenomenal Fitness, and Shekel Storm NBA. We make up the Israeli Penny Pinchers, the best team on the planet, and you better believe that. You better believe that. If you don't know, ask around. Ask Shekel Storm. All right, when we played against LeBron and the Lakers, obviously your boy was definitely I definitely was in a foul mood that night. I was definitely in my zone. Anytime that I go up against LeBron James, anytime that I go up against any guy that comes out of the state of Ohio, I feel that number one is always love when it comes to my fellow Ohioans, but it's also at the same time it's also my time to establish my dominance to let them know that I am the greatest player to ever come out of the state, not LeBron James. I let him know each and every time when I see him on the court, it's like my blood starts to boil, because the love that I used to have for LeBron James quickly turned into animosity, and quickly just turned into a maniacal need to destroy him. And I was giving him some buckets, but he decided to put Austin Reeves on me. I thought it was very disrespectful, because I think that Austin Reeves is a scrub. I don't think that he could guard me, and I let it be known. I just let it be known. Austin Reeves really thought that he was going to stop me from getting to the paint. It's like, come on, man. You are dealing with Skinny Hardaway. I am no slouch. And when I went down, and I knew as soon as I left the ground, I already knew that the body was secured. The body was secured. All I had to do was just zip it up. You know what I'm saying? Austin Reeves was already in that body bag the second that he decided that he was going to jump with me. And I just let him know. After I dunked on him, I just turned to LeBron and I said, "Don't you ever put him on me ever again. If you put him on me, continue to watch your man get cooked. You better come get him. You better come get me, because it's barbecue chicken, it's barbecue steak, barbecue pork, it's barbecue whatever. We throwing everything on the grill, brisket, all that, brats, all that. Every time I saw him, it was lunchtime. It was dinner time. It was time to eat. It was time to feed. You know what I'm saying? And on the play where Shekel Storm stole the ball, man, from LeBron, because we all know LeBron has suspect handles. I don't know why everybody thinks that he is just like this genius with the basketball. This man has so many flaws in his game, and we was able to just pick him apart. Still when Morton got the steal from him, and he threw the alley oop to me on the transition on the transition. I just knew that it's par for the course when it comes to Shuttlestorm. When it comes to us, that's par for the course. I mean, we've done that so many times. We can do that. We can do plays like that in our sleep. I mean, that's what led us to being such a dominant team in the JBL. I mean, you just could not see us, man. And when I caught that alley oop, and Yob Costas, who's definitely been a thorn in the side of Shuttlestorm, he's definitely a guy that when we see him on the floor, we definitely want to make it a torturous night for him. We definitely want him. We definitely want to see him sweat. We definitely want to see him go through all the emotions. I don't like Yob Costas. I think that he is a sucker. I think that he has done so many shady and nefarious things behind the scenes to try to stop the penny pinchers, try to stop us from our dominance, trying to get us away from our dominant ways, trying to break up the team. Just this sneaky, dirty, underhand tactics, trying to bribe players, he does a little bit of what is that? What is that phrase? I'm drawing a blank. Uh, dang it. What did you call that? Dang, I'm blanking on the word. When you do the underhanded tactics, when you're doing underhanded tactics to try to oh dang, I was just about to say it. Whatever it is, man, he was just doing a lot of dirty deals underneath the table, man, trying to make moves to try to break up the team. He's trying to just come up with a different kind of dirty tactics to try to break the team up. Offering crazy deals that weren't feasible because they don't even have the bread like that. Yob Costas, he's an evil man. He's an evil, evil, evil man, and I would definitely tell you that it is very satisfying to basically put him in his spot. And after I caught that alley oop, I looked him dead in the face and I told him, man, there's no way you couldn't afford me. I looked at him straight in his face and told him, you can't afford me. He definitely tried to he definitely tried to do some dirty tactics behind the scenes, try to get me away from the penny pinchers. And I took that as a sign of disrespect because the penny pinchers definitely recognized my talents and they let me run wild, run free. And a sucker like Yob Costas could never afford to have a player like me. I am something of a phenomenon out there on the court. On the court. Shout out to Phenomenal Fitness. They ain't trying to steal your word. That's just for a lack of a better word. I definitely am pretty humble, but I will have to say when it comes to talking about my game does speak for itself. But don't poke the bear. Do not poke the bear, because the bear will definitely attack. And that's how I felt when I was on the court. And it was definitely a moment. It was definitely a moment to have the quote unquote best of the NBA go up against the ultimate JBL squad. And yeah, we put the smack down on them pretty well. And I will have to say, LeBron and company. I would love to see Bronny. I would love to see little Bronny come to the JBL so we can serve him as well. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is, Jessica. Hopefully that little bit of lore put a smile on your face. Hopefully that that kind of sealed the deal on your birthday. You already know what it is, man. Shuttlestorm with the lore. Those right there, I definitely had to do some thinking on that. Every time I have to answer one of the lore questions from Jessica, it's like I have to tap into my Shuttlestorm into Shuttlestorm mode and start spitting some stories. So hope you liked it. Yeah, guys, that is it for Q&A for tonight. Got some more fire questions next week. I have a couple more questions that I got this week. So these are the questions that will be the questions for next week, for next week's episodes. That is a promise. The questions that I did answer tonight, thank you, Chucky, thank you, Jessica, for those fire questions that you sent to me. Thank you, and for each and every one of you, hey, send in those questions, man. I got answers. I may not know it all, but I will try my best to answer your questions. It can be old school, new school basketball. It could be sneakers. It could be lore. It could be, just about anything. And I'll try to answer it as best as I can. With that being said, man, it's your boy Skinny Hardaway, man. Just imploring you guys, man. It's Wednesday. You already know what it is. It's Hump Day. Q&A with your boy has been another success. Definitely happy for another Wednesday episode to come and go. Like I always say, man, it's Wednesday. It's Hump Day. I want you guys to be the best that you can. Love on your loved ones, love on them babies. Tomorrow is not promised. Be respectful, be responsible, be a blessing out there, not a burden. Do things the right way, be a good citizen. Help somebody out if you can. If you see somebody struggling, help them out. Be a helping hand out there. I know that's kind of crazy to say, especially in these times, because we have so many people that are very to themselves, but you never know what a person's going through. A smile, hello goes a long way. Like I always say, a clear head and pure intentions in your heart, you can go far. You can go, you're out of here type of stuff, man. I definitely want you guys to be safe out there. Don't do nothing stupid. Be safe out there. Enjoy your day, enjoy your evenings, and hopefully we can reconvene right back here in the Hoophead Haven tomorrow evening. Man, and I guess with that being said, man, it's your boy, Skinny Hardaway. It's another episode of Retro Heat Check in the books. And I'll leave you with these words. Peace. And wear your sneakers.